Congress has been pressuring railroads to adopt these positive train control systems, but the deadline has been pushed back now to 2018. Joining us to talk all about this is attorney Jim McEldrew. Jim, good morning to you.
Good morning.
You're a railroad expert. In fact, you represented a couple of the passengers who were injured in the train derailment we had in Philadelphia in 2015, where we lost 8 people. When you look at this, let's start with the positive train control. Why is it not in place, and why wasn't it in place yesterday in Hoboken?
So in 2008, Congress passed basically a mandate to put positive train control on all Class 1 railroads. Now, unfortunately, it was an unfunded mandate, meaning that along with this law came the desire for Congress to have Class 1 railroads put positive train control throughout the system. However, it was pretty clear by October of 2015 that that was not going to happen, and the Class 1 railroads petitioned Congress, and they got a 3-year extension.
Into 2018.
Into 2018.
These train, lines, these tracks just sit, basically, they know they've got a problem waiting to happen?
I think absolutely. I was talking to you beforehand, and back in May of 2011, Hoboken had another very similar incident where a PATH train ran over the bumper. Fortunately, there was not as many people hurt, nobody was killed. But one of the things, as guests from the NSTB said earlier, one of the things that they recommended was, after that accident, for positive train control throughout the New Jersey Transit and PATH system. Right. Again, I'm not trying to get into what transit's budgetary issues are, but there should be some funding from Congress to do this.
So basically,
absolutely.
It was too expensive, and we haven't made it happen yet.
It's a complicated system to implement because a lot of trains run over different other trains lines,
right.
So they have to be able to integrate the lines back and forth between the various railroads. But nonetheless, I think the biggest issue here is money. And, we're paying money to the victims, unfortunately, after the occurrence.
Right.
If we were able to put that money towards the positive train control beforehand, I think a lot of these accidents would have been mitigated or absolutely done away with. So, yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, let's talk about the engineer. I know a lot of people are asking, what was he doing? How did this happen?
There are no inward-facing cameras there, so I don't know that we'll ever get the right answer out of that. But we do know that going into Hoboken train station, there is a signal that decreases the speed to under 30 miles an hour. And
this train had to have been doing more than that.
Exactly. So, and Sept is already, in Philadelphia region, is already equipped with positive train control. So if that would happen in Philadelphia, the emergency brakes would automatically be activated. So he had to pass through at least 2 signals at higher than normal speeds in order for this accident to happen.
So what do they do now by way of the investigation? They go back and look at 72 hours before this accident happened, and they kind of do a paper trail on this engineer's activity?
Sure. They're going to want to know where he was, engineer fatigue is a big issue, and there's been a lot of...
It's like pilots, right? You can't fly unless you've had a certain amount of sleep before the next flight.
Absolutely, and not only that, but there are certain issues with, whether he was out or not. I have no idea in this particular case. We do know, though, that they're going to look at the braking system. Obviously, the positive train control issue is going to be, on the table again. We're going to look at the engineers' activities. We're going to look at the signals. We're going to look at the people in the signal department as well as the communications department. So everybody is going to be investigating this accident.
And Jim, as far as looking at everything and looking back, getting the black box, finding out more, how do we look forward to make sure this doesn't happen again?
Well, like I said before, I mean, we know the positive train control can prevent these, a lot of these accidents, or at least lessen the severity of it. So, I mean, I think that we have to, as a society, make a decision whether we want to put money for prevention or we want to pay it for injuries. And at this point, we're making wrong decisions.
Well, and say that to the 8 people who died on May 12th of 2015 here in Philadelphia, and this Fabiola Batard de Kroon, standing there on the platform at age 34. She's a mother of 1 person.
Horrible.
It's horrible to look at it. We look at the wreckage from Philadelphia. I guess the final question here, you look at, and this might not be your purview as an attorney, but you look at driverless cars and that technology, it seems like if something's on a track, that'd be even better for something to be driverless, right?
You would think so.
Computerized system altogether.
I was coming over here with a very bad Uber driver, and I was actually, I saw that the airbag sign was on. I had the seatbelt on. We all had redundancies. A train that carries hundreds, sometimes thousands of passengers has no redundancy. So if the engineer should fail, should not be paying attention, should lose track of where he's at, without any other redundancies in the system, these accidents are going to continue to happen. So it really is a tragedy.
And I don't even know if these trains are equipped with seat belts. I never wear a seatbelt on a train.
I don't think I've seen
I
one
don't think
on a
I've seen
train.
one on a train.
Yeah.
A lot of questions, Jim, it brings up legally and in every other way. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate
Thank you for your
it.
time.
Thank you.